Everyone, happy April 1st, April Fool's Day. Can't believe it. Again, just ripping through this year fast enough. But again, I've been so busy, so kind of happy we're moving along. Just, as you get older, time flies. It really does. So make time to get out and do things. We're getting a beautiful, hopefully clear day out here in California, cool and crisp in Southern California. And I got stuff to do today. Got to get my brother and my dad out this afternoon. So anyway, here we go. We're looking at the morning trade video for April 1st. We are looking at a temporary bottom in bearish warning type of a mode in trending. You see here we are in trending mode. So what we're looking at with our temporary bottom, guys, is that we're looking for a kind of a market setup. We had this big reversal yesterday. Let me go down to hourly. And what we're looking at for a temporary bottom here as we move into the bigger picture of the market is we're looking for, again, a carryover downward type of a trend. I believe we're going to try to retest these lows. You already know about Fibonacci. I've talked to you guys about it forever. You guys can, again, take a look at these ranges from Fibonacci. We've come back up to the 382 level. We're now moving a little bit downward. I suspect that what we're going to be looking at in this move today is, again, a move basically from this opening range down here to this lower range, down here to this 618 or 764 level. So I could hypothetically suggest that we're going to be looking at a move from basically here down into this area or down into this area, forming a bottom and trying to find support. So that gives you kind of an idea of where we're at today. We're probably going to come down into the 553, 551, 552 area and try to find some support. And again, I'm just using Fibonacci as a guide to kind of show us where that critical support area is. So again, that would mean that we have about a 4-point downward move, maybe a 6-point downward move. That'd be about a 1%, roughly 1% day. I doubt we will get below this low today. If we do, off of a temporary bottom pattern, it will probably be news driven or data driven. Oh man, come on, Katie. Okay. It'll probably be news or data driven, and we may end up just retesting that low. So understand that any move down here to 548 would be a retest of the low, setting up kind of a temporary bottom. Now, where we're at with tomorrow, we get a gap reversal in counter trend mode, and it depends on how quickly we find this bottom. If, assuming we find the bottom and get some sort of an upward move, then a gap reversal move tomorrow would be to the downside. So if we end up in a downward trend all day long, a gap reversal would be up to the upside. So we need to see how this gap reversal plays out tomorrow. And then we get the gap breakaway and then a breakaway. So really, as I mentioned to you last week, this kind of a early Monday, Tuesday range is kind of sideways, rotational. Then we move into gap, breakaway. That's more trendy. Then we move into this pop and counter trend mode. We'll see how we move into the end of the week, what counter trend is. I believe this will probably be to the downside. Then we get a bottom rally start in counter trend mode. Could be a deep selling mode. Top resistance, flat down breakaway. So this top resistance leads me to believe that we might have some upward trending over here around the 8th or 9th. We'll see how it plays out. But then we get the base rally here around the 15th, the up, down, up. This is where I think we move into kind of our long-term basing, and that's out here around April 15th. So you can see really we move into that long-term basing, and this is where we start to get into some real upward trending. Okay, here we go. Come on, Katie. This is where we start to get into some real upward trending right over here. So I'm really looking for it. The markets to start building a base after April, 10th, 11th, 14th, right in this area, building a base and rallying. And that aligns over here with my 10th, 11th, 14th, right over here, kind of in this 14th, 15th upward trending this week right here. So that would be the tax time, April 15th week. I believe we're going to be looking at a base and a bottom and a real solid rally. So I'm looking for the markets to kind of weaken now down into this trend. And from where we're at basically right now, pre-market, 566, I'm looking for about a 5%, 27, 28 point downward move here. Then we build support, move up into this sideways rally, and then we'll probably roll down into the next phase back over here. Okay, so we'll come over here to the QQQ. Same type of setup. A lot of drawing over here. I'm going to get rid of this. And got a whole bunch of drawing down here. Get rid of that. Okay, good enough. So now we're looking at that temporary bottom pattern again. Temporary bottom pattern should put us into, you can see we're at 467.16, down a little bit, nothing too serious. But again, we're looking for that temporary bottom to come down into this area, maybe a little lower. And then, oops, try it again. Down into that area. And then potentially looking for a nice little double bottom off of this area where we might get a downward trend like this moving back up. And a temporary bottom does indicate that we will find some support today and move back up once we find the bottom. So again, where we're at with this long term is we're looking at that deeper low setting up potentially down here in this 438, 450, 444 area. So given where we're at, we're probably going to roll into this low, maybe a bit deeper, and then roll back out. So we're kind of looking for this area as a downside target. And that's just the initial, again, downside target. When you take a look at this from a longer term perspective, remember, as I've gone over, if this is A, B, then C would be a move to here, a pullback. So C would be more like this. So you'd have a C move down to about here, a pullback, and then a move back down to here, and then possibly a pullback, then an extended trend down into here. That would be more of our expected C type of move. Okay. So again, if we do get this C move as an A, B, C or an A, B, C, D, E type of move, this is where you would be looking potentially for a low down in the 400, 403 area of the QQQ. And remember that again would put us at a 1.6 to 1.5 ratio of this move. From here to here, you can see we have a 100% move here, and then we start seeing that move down here into 38250. So this would be essentially a 60% to 61% to 50% move down into this lower level right over here. So try to draw it for you. Right over there would be an excellent target range right around that 50-60% level as an ultimate low. Currently, we're working through this rotation. And like I said, my expectations are to find support around 437. I've highlighted it here, 445. But really, the low here, look at this. This is what you got to kind of watch. is this 438, 426, and 416. So those are going to be the numbers we're really going to want to pay attention to. Okay, let's go over here to gold and silver. Gold had a nice rally afternoon last night. Overnight session rallied up to 3180, just under 3180, 3178, 3176. Really seeing some potential here for a breakout, but gold patterns are telling us that we're going to be in sideways trending. So we're in rotation, we're in a top resistance, we're into consolidation. So the next 1, 2, 3 days are probably going to be a melt up channel type of trend. You can see how we're kind of moving up here in this channel. Let me come in here and change this to a dark purple. And you can see here, guys, how we're just kind of melting up through a series of flags. You can see we kind of flagged out over here, coming kind of across here. We're probably going to flag out a little bit over here, coming across here. And what we're doing here is, as I've taught you, the market does only two things really, flag or trend. So trend, flag, trend, flag, trend, flag, trend, flag, trend, flag. And that's what we're going to be looking for here. We're also watching for silver to try to make a move here. If gold does find support today, which I believe it will, and try to move higher. I mean, the melt up trend right now is tremendous in gold and silver. You know, you can see here, I'll go to daily, see if my lines are. So you can see I'll get rid of some of these lines. Okay, I'll get rid of a bunch of them, trying to get rid of that purple one. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. So you can see the acceleration. Daily trend is accelerating extremely higher. I mean, this is breakaway, gap. I think we're not going to stop until 3280. I think that's where we're going to run into our first resistance. Silver is lagging a bit. I mean, okay, silver is not getting where we want to go yet. We're not seeing that big rally in silver. We are near these new all-time highs. We are consolidating, but we are not seeing that big breakaway trend yet. But I do believe we are going to see that big breakaway trend. Okay, I do believe that silver is just kind of pausing here before it makes another big move to the upside, trying to shoot up to this 36 level and then possibly up to this 37.50, 38 level. And then eventually, as I've highlighted to you guys before, silver should make a very big move up into this 44 area. This has been my target for quite a while. And remember, gold is going to make a very big move up into this up into this 4200 area, and then eventually move up into this 4700 area. So this move right now up into this 32 to 34, 35 area, which is where we run into our initial resistance. This is basically a rally, pause, rally, pause, rally, pause. Okay, and that's how I see gold making this move over the next, you look here, April, May, June. So you're basically talking 60 to 90 days, and you're talking about a huge move from where we are right now, up 8%, $278, to 32%, up $1,000 to 53%, up $1,600, almost $1,700. You're talking about gold making a big rally over the next 60, 90 days, a very big rally up into the 46, 48, 4,900. Okay. As my buddy over here keeps posting messages, thank you, KD. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, this is hourly. Let's come over here to daily. Try to get my chart back together. Try to keep everything under 20 minutes. So you can see we've rolled down. We've rolled into a little consolidation. Going to get rid of some of these drawings. Roll. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, we're looking okay. Now, where we're at, we're still rolling over, like I talked about. And ultimately, guys, for this move to play out, this breakdown to play out, we should see price levels continue to move down to 7,800 or 78,000. The reason for that is we need to retest this low of this flag if this current little flagging pattern plays out like I expect. Now, if we end up invalidating, what's going to happen is we're going to get above the flag high, which is really this level right here. So if we get above the flag high, we're going to get above that 88,000 level. I do believe that, like I said, that this movement, this little support movement here, is rotation in this trend. So you can see we've come up, we've run across these rotational channels. You see, we come across here, we run into some resistance right across here, we run into some support right across here. So, we're rolling right into that kind of a middle sideways channel for support and resistance. And I think we do roll in here a bit before we move here and down. So be aware that, we're in that kind of middle consolidation zone. I'm not too worried about it. If you look at it as a Fibonacci level, I'm going to pretty much tell you that we're looking at a 382 to 618 retracement. And here's your 382 to 618 level going from here to here. I'll leave this here for you. You take a look at these numbers. There's the 382 level. There's a 618 level. This is really, in my opinion, the battle line on Fibonacci. So be aware that this is, really the zone where we're looking for Fibonacci to kind of give price a battle. And that's what we've got here. We've got a price battle going on. Move. Here we go. We've got a price battle going on in here, just like we had over here. Excuse me. Gotta get some coffee. And I expect us to roll into this little sideways channel and eventually roll downward into the 78,000 area. Okay, so where we're at over the next couple of days, if you look at the rotation, gold and silver are moving into this, gap stall revert flush, bullish explosive, rotation today, top resistance tomorrow means it should continue to try to move higher tomorrow. Consolidation on Thursday means it should consolidate, move sideways on Thursday. Then we have our big crush pattern on Friday. Then we move into consolidation on Monday, inside breakaway, trending, Harami inside day, big crush pattern, and then a big gap potential. So the 10th and the 11th look very powerful. But again, you look at these days and we're moving into some big trending on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here of the end of this week for the SPY and the QQQ. Then we move into a big pop day on Monday in counter trend mode, bottom rally start in counter trend mode, which could be a breakdown mode, top resistance, flat down, breakaway, and then we get into this up, down, up, base rally, and this is where I think we're going to be looking at the real bottom around the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. This week, I think is going to be the real bottom right here, meaning back over here on the SPY, that 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, right over here, this is going to be the start of the bottom. This is going to be where the rally is. So you're kind of looking at this area here. Tenth, 11th, 12th, kind of as the real base. So this area here as the real base for the markets, right in this 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th time frame. That's where you want to look for the basing problem, basing setup in the market before we start to move higher. Okay, guys, just under 21 minutes. Go get some today. I'm going to let you go. Talk to you later.